Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Hope you all are safe in these troubling times and concerns across the globe on this pandemic. So thanks for taking your time off your day and joining us in this webinar on high-speed avionics system design with ARINC 8182. So my name is Taufik and I head the product marketing team at iWave Systems. And along with me, I have Mr. Sheikh, who is the Associate Director of the FPGA Business Unit at iWave Systems. So we will be giving you an overview of the ARINC 818 video protocol, the recent enhancements and evolution of various standards, and the comprehensive portfolio of ARINC solutions at iWave, which helps customers design reliable defense systems. Next slide. So before we get deeper into the webinar, a few housekeeping items ensuring a smooth presentation. So the webinar is scheduled for a duration of 1 hour with 45 minutes dedicated for the session. And we'll have 15 minutes for an interactive Q&A where you can post your questions in the chat window. And our team will do our best to answer your questions in this 1 hour interesting session. So as part of the platform, all participants are muted to enable a smooth presence for the speaker. In case of any clarifications or questions, please feel free to post in the chat window. We will be recording the presentation and will share you a copy of the recording and the copy of the slides within 2 days of the webinar. In case you have any problems in or on the platform, please use the chat button and let us know in case of any concerns. Next slide. So before we get deeper into ARINC and the ARINC protocol, the standards, let me give you a brief introduction of who iWave Systems is. So iWave Systems is an embedded engineering and product engineering organization established in the year 1999. We are headquartered in Bangalore with a global sales footprint and distribution ecosystem. So iWave started off as an engineering services provider in the year 1999 and have slowly been transitioning into a product-based company over the years. An ISO 9001 2015 certified company, iWave Systems is driven by the mission to be a reliable partner for technology companies across the globe. As a certified member of various Tier 1 silicon suppliers such as NXP, Xilinx, Intel, and Microsemi, iWave assures that it is on the top of the innovation cycle, and we assure the best of products, ensuring reliability, scalability, and the most innovative products with a consistent roadmap. Next slide, please. So iWave strategically focuses on 3 key verticals: automotive, avionics and defense, and industrial. So let me just get into a bit deeper on automotive and industrial. So iWave has been a global leader in the design and manufacturing of various system on modules, single board computers, and gateways, and different types of solutions for the automotive and industrial sector. So with key technologies in the wireless domains, as well as in the processing domains, iWave ensures product longevity of 10 plus years and ensures the best of rugged and scalable products for the automotive and industrial sectors. With a strategic focus in avionics, iWave has been a global leader in ARINC 818 IP cores and solutions. We have helped customers design ARINC 818 capable systems and offer a comprehensive product suite for the entire life cycle of your ARINC 818 enabled equipment. So now to get deeper into the summary of this presentation, I'll hand it over to Mr. Sheikh, who will take you through the story of ARINC, its evolution, the enhancements from ARINC 8182 to 8183, the use cases, and the various solutions we have at iWave, which helps you build rugged ARINC 818 systems. Over to you, Sheikh sir.
Yeah, thank you, Taufik, for quick introduction about iWave, and what are the various business vertical we focus. So let us get into what is ARINC. So AEC, Airlines Electronics Engineering Committee. AMC is like Aviation Maintenance Conference, Flight Simulator Engineering and Maintenance Committee, or Aviation Industry Activities organized by ARINC Industry Activities, so globally known as ARINC standards. So ARINC results in substantial technical and economic benefit to the aviation industry. So aviation industry technical professionals and lead the development of technical standards for airborne electronics equipment, airborne maintenance equipment, practices, and flight simulator equipment used in commercial, military, and business aviation. So directly support aviation industry goals, promote safety, efficiency, regulatory, and cost effectiveness in aircraft operations. Next slide, please. So need for video equipment in aircrafts. So video systems includes infrared and other wavelength sensors, optical cameras, radar, flight recorders, map or chat systems, synthetic vision, image fusion system, HUD heads-up display and head-down multifunction displays, video concentrators, and other subsystems. So video systems are used for taxi and takeoff assist, cargo loading, navigation, target tracking, collision avoidance, and other critical functions. So increased amount of data supplied in the form of images. So the commercial aircrafts consist of entertainment systems for the passengers in which they display movies, map, etc. on the various displays. The various information to be provided are converted into images with the help of processing unit. These images are then displayed on the display unit. So next is the need for real-time video display. The aircraft consists of various cameras in different sections of the aircraft, which are sent to the cockpit for monitoring. So no loss of images during transmission or reception and resistant to any disruption. Certain mission critical applications require continuous data transmission and should be capable of recovering from any kind of errors, for instance, images from the radars. Next slide, please. The image illustrates how the various systems of an aircraft comprising of video transmission or reception can be interconnected to each other. The system may include of display units, cameras, video processing systems, and etc. The flow of video data between the various video source and video sinks are unidirectional in general. If a system requires transmission and reception of data, then separate interfaces are needed for the transmission and the reception of the video. The bandwidth requirement of each system varies and depends on the video resolution, color format, number of bits per pixel, frame rate of the video to be transmitted or received, and is directly proportional to the resolution and frame rate. That is, on increment in the resolution or frame rate, the bandwidth requirement also increases proportionally. Certain systems may need to transmit multiple low resolution videos on a high bandwidth link to reduce the interfaces on the systems. The next slide, please. Yeah, this slide talks about evaluation of ARINC over the year. So the video transmission in avionics were carried out with the help of standard video transmission protocols. However, with the increase of the number of video systems, the cost for installing such system also increased. The low latency requirement could not be achieved using the standard cables, since the data to be transmitted may be generated at the far end of the aircraft, and it may have to be sent to the cockpit, which resides at the front end of the aircraft. So transmitting this video data introduces a lot of latency. Hence, there was necessity to create a particular video specification which could suffice the avionics requirement. The ARINC 818 committee took the FCE protocol, it's a fiber optical, as a base and came up with the ARINC 818 specification. So next slide, please. So ARINC 818 initiation. So along with the low latency and reducing the installation cost, it was also necessary to have interoperability between the various video standards, and also to ensure that all the aircraft systems can be integrated together. So need to provide a small overview of the ARINC 818 specification listed and their necessity. So ARINC 818 specification 801 is a fiber optics connector. So the specification is meant for fiber optic connector. So this covers the dimension, performance, quality assurance, criteria for the fiber optics interconnects component, and test procedures for fiber interconnect assemblies suitable for use on the commercial aircrafts. So ARINC 818 specification 802 is meant for fiber optics cable. So this specification covers the performance requirements, dimension, quality assurance criteria, test procedures, and cable modification for fiber optics cables suitable for use on commercial and military aircrafts. The ARINC 818 report 803 is fiber optic system design guidelines. The purpose of ARINC report 803 is to provide design and implementation guidelines together with a selection guide, providing a fiber optic system design engineer with the documentation to assess the design requirement for an aerospace fiber optic installation. Similarly, the ARINC report 804 is a fiber optic active device specification. This document covers any active device that could be used in conjunction with the passive physical layer described in ARINC 819 specification 801, 802, and report 803. So ARINC 805 is fiber optic test procedure. So this document defines general practices for testing the physical layer of the fiber optic cable system. It is the intention of this document to outline proven practices for engineers and technicians engaged in testing and supporting fiber optic cable systems in aircraft. So ARINC 806, it is fiber optic installation and maintenance. So this document defines recommended general practices for maintenance and restoration of fiber optic system. It is the intention of this document to outline proven practices and general standards of workmanship for technicians engaged in fiber optics maintenance and repair. Next slide, please. So this standards defines video interface protocol which can be used in avionics systems between video capture, image processing, computer graphics, image generating equipments, and displays requiring the transmission of real-time video signals on board aircraft. The fiber channel family of ANSI standard INCITS 356-02002 is considered an integral part of ARINC specification 818. The fiber channel audio video, so FCAV standard is the primary reference since it deals with protocol. So avionics digital video bus standard is based on fiber channel audio video classes 5 and 7 and defines video object classification mappings of simple parametric digital video protocol. So starting point of ARINC 818, because of its low latency, speed options, data integrity, embedded data, display timing flexibility, and the proven field experience of FCAV in military applications. Next slide, please. ARINC 818-2 enhancement. So it's a faster speeds. So fiber channel FC 6x, 12x, 16x, 24x, and 32x. These are the new FC link rate introduced in ARINC 818-2. So ARINC 818-2 added support for data rate up to 28 gigabits per second, where the data rates from 16x needed 64B/66B encoding and decoding implementation. The ARINC 818-3 then updated the maximum link rate of 8B10B encoding from 8.5 gigabits per second to 10 gigabits per second. DAS3 also provided guidelines for forming the ADVB containers in case of 64B/66B encoding and decoding schemes. Channel bonding. So channel bonding refers to breaking video frames into smaller segments such as left, right, half, or even or odd pixels. In case of link bandwidth limitation, video can be segmented into left half and right half, or even pixels and odd pixels, and then transmitted on a separate links parallelly. So it is required for both the links to transmit complete ADVB container, including the header, the ICD should latency and skew between the links. So next is video compression and encryption. So due to increase in video quality, the size of the video files have increased. So video compression techniques helps to reduce the video size by removing the repetitive data and audio. So ARINC standards transmission of compressed video, however, it does not include any compression scheme. Compression has to be done external to the ARINC 819 system. So coming to that video encryption, the certain applications such as military may require the video to be encrypted in order to prevent unwanted encryption and viewing of the transmitted videos. So the ARINC 818 protocol supports transmission of encrypted video. However, it does not include any encryption schemes. The encryption need to be done external to the ARINC 818 system. Video switching. With increasing the number of video system, it becomes essential to support video switching. Multiple systems may require video data from one source, or other may be a need of switch video from one system to other system. Hence, switching capability needed to be added. Computation of prior image CRC. So additional integrity checking scheme which reports whether the previously received video frame is having any CRC errors. It can also be used to check if the video contains new frames or a still image is being transmitted by comparing the CRC values of the successive frames with certain amount of interval. Next slide. This slide talks about advantages of ARINC 818 protocol. The first one is that wider bandwidth support. So ARINC 818 supports low resolution, low refresh rate, and the number of bits per pixel, 8 bits per pixel monochrome color format is the low bandwidth. Similarly, it supports high resolution, higher frame rate, RGB with alpha, that is 32 bits per pixel. So this is a high bandwidth. So ARINC 818-2 have wider bandwidth support. So next, coming to the scalability, supports display application from low to high resolution and beyond the limit, and multiplex multiple video streams onto a single high-speed optical link, capability to switch video, audio, and data, drive display from two links. Single link does not have adequate speed. Capability to support ancillary data, only custom data without video stream, or combination of all, which includes ancillary data, custom data, as well as video streams. So next, coming to the integrity. So the error cyclic redundancy check, CRC, to verify the integrity of the frame header as well as data fields. So ability to discard any line that has a CRC errors. Additional integrity checks, like as we have seen in the previous slide, prior image CRC feature also supported and defined in ARINC 818-2. Coming to that video connection, so ability to send custom data fields during video blanking period along with video streams in the same optical link, and also supports display synchronous timing generation as well as non-synchronous display timing. Next slide, please. Rise of ARINC 818-3. So due to increase in the digitization of data, the video resolution and frame rates have been increased. So to support transmission of videos with higher resolution and frame rates, it is required to operate the transmission medium at increased link rates. However, 8-bit 10B encoding may not be an optimal approach to achieve higher data rates of 14 gigabits per second and above. So hence it was necessary to introduce the guidelines for ARINC 818 to operate at 64B/66B encoding. This was done in the third supplement of the ARINC 818 specification. Thereby, it has enabled the user to transmit data at higher link rates to meet the new video requirements. Next slide, please. what's new in ARINC 818-3 compared to previous version of ARINC 818-2 and the 1? Expands the definition of ADVB frame to include following improvements. So it defines 10 Gbps as the highest 8B 10B encoded bus speed, supports speed of 12 gigabits per second and higher using 64B/66B encoding, supports 28.05 gigabits per second using 256B/257B encoding. So to support 28.5 Gbps, so user can use both the encoding techniques. So 64B/66 encoding or 256B/257B encoding. So adds material defining the latency budget for ARINC 818 devices used in transmit and receive modes. And it also defines a display emulation mode for ADVB test equipments and miscellaneous clarifications compared to previous versions. The next slide, please. This slide talks about what are the various use cases. So ARINC 818 widely used in multiple applications like cockpit recorder, simulator, HUD, heads-up display, radar system, multifunction display, video concentrators, and mission computers, and flight simulators, etc. Next slide, please. So far we have seen ARINC 818, what is ARINC and ARINC 818 and various features and why it is introduced and etc. So now we'll talk about what are the various modes of data transmission widely used for ARINC 818. So there are two transmission medium. One is optical and another one is copper. So optical, there are two modes, single mode optical and multi-mode optical. It depends on the distance. So user choose that single mode or multi-mode. So in case of single mode optical cables, light sources works at 1310 nanometer or 1550 nanometer wavelength. And in case of multi-mode optical cables, it uses 850 nanometer or 1300 nanometer wavelength. So next, coming to the copper. So copper, there are three different copper impedance are widely used in the avionics industry: 75 ohm, 100 ohm, and 150 ohm. So types of copper connectors and cables used. So like twin-ax seal-ride copper cable or custom-made quadrax copper cables are widely used for the copper industry. Cable characteristics to be considered which affects the output from copper connectors, such as type of cable based on shielding to provide EMI resistant transmission, impedance characteristics to offer ungraded throughput, cable length to provide stable video output without any data loss or frame loss, shielding ground connection for stable video output without any error and glitches. Next slide, please. So with that, we are moving to iWave ARINC 818 solutions. So iWave developed the ARINC 818 IP core from the scratch, and then on success of ARINC 818 IP core, so we also developed multiple solution around iWave ARINC 818 IP core, like the video conversion cards like HDMI to ARINC, DVI to ARINC, and vice versa, and multiple conversion card, in a different form factor. And also we have developed protocol analyzer, and following that ARINC 809 monitor, ARINC 809 audio video recorder, as well as ARINC 809 8x8 video switch IP core. Yeah, next slide. What are the various ARINC 809 IP cores offered by iWave? So ARINC 818-2 is a point-to-point serial protocol, high bandwidth, low latency protocol for a transmission of uncompressed video up to 4K audio and data during blanking period, widely used in avionics. So our IP core supports multiple pixel format like monochrome, RGB, YCBCR, as well as RGB with alpha. And it also supports both progressive and interlaced video scale. Our IP core provides a simple synchronous video streaming interface which can be used to interface with any video and image processing IP cores. So ARINC 818-3. ARINC 818-3 have a flexibility to support optical link rate up to 28.05 gigabits per second from all the way to from the 10 Gbps. So it depends on the link rate. So our IP core have the flexibility to configure that 8B or 10B encoding, or 64B or 66B encoding, or 256/257B encoding. So it depends on the link rate. So the corresponding encoding and decoding techniques is used. ARINC 818 switch IP. So since a vast portion of the newer application of the ARINC 818-2 have several displays with many channels of ARINC 818, so switching has turned out to be a more imperative. So our IP core supports multiple channels. User can configure the number of channels from 4 to all the way 8 channels. So it supports progressive format up to full HD resolutions and configurable link rate. So real-time link control and monitoring to web server. It is actually intelligent and synchronous switching of video frames. So this ARINC 818 switch IP supports 4 different transmission methods. The broadcast. So one video information is directed to all or numerous video outputs, and the unicast, a video information is sent to another point. A multicast, a video data is diverted to at least 2 sent from one point video outputs. So mixed. So it's any input routed to any output. Next slide, please. ARINC 818 IP core proved in multiple FPGA families from all leading FPGA vendors like Xilinx, Intel, and Microsemi. From Xilinx, Intel, and Microsemi. So coming to Xilinx, so our IP is already proved on Vertex 6 ML605 development kit. Similarly, on the 7 series FPGA like Index 7, Vertex 7, as well as Jinx 7000 development kits. And UltraScale Plus families, so IPs are proved in Jinx UltraScale Plus NPSoC JetCU 102, Kindex UltraScale KCU 105. And coming to that Intel So Intel Cyclone 5 based 6U CPCI conversion card and Intel standard statics for development kit, Intel Ariadne SoC development kit. So from Microsemi, our IP is proved on Polar Fire development kit. So our IP is proved on multiple standard development kits. So whatever FPGA device is selected by the customer, we can provide that IP evaluation to quickly evaluate our IP core before going for the complete licensing. So we do provide DO254 equivalent artifacts like planning, conceptual design, detailed design, and verification and validation artifacts. So IP deliverables includes and simple external copper or optical loopback reference design for customer selected target FPGA based development platform. We offer flexible licensing models like a single project or multi-project netlist license. Yeah, next slide, please. Different types of cameras and displays widely used in avionics. So you are aware that the CVBS, NTSC TUPAL, and STANAC standard, SDI, DVI, and HDMI. These are the different types of cameras or video inputs are widely used. And similarly on the display side, so LVDS display, DVI, and HDMI. So we have a corresponding ARINC 818 conversion card based on multiple video inputs as well as the displays. And next slide, please. Highway supports protocol conversion card in 3 different industry standard form factors like 3U VPX and 6U CPCI. This is like a rugged mill qualified cards module. And third one is half length PCI Express form factor. So half length PCI Express card supports HDMI to ARINC 818 and vice versa protocol conversion. The same card can also be used for 2x2 ARINC 818 video switching or receiving 2 number of ARINC 818 in protocol conversion to the HDMI. So similarly, 6U CPCI card supports DVI to ARINC 818 and vice versa protocol conversion. 3U VPX card support HDMI or DVI to ARINC 818 and vice versa protocol conversion. And also that card can support 12x12 ARINC 818 video switching functionality. All the place video scratch and deliver within 3 to 4 weeks timeline. Next slide, please. So previous slide we had HDMI or DVI to ARINC 818 comes with other video input interfaces as well, like SDI, Stenog, or CBS input. So to support the customer who looking for HDMI or DVI other than HDMI or DVI protocol, so we developed multi-channel video FMC cards. So it supports HDMI, 3G, SDI, CBS, as well as Tenag, ARB video standards. So customer looking for other than HDMI or DVI to ARINC and vice versa conversion, we use multi-channel video FMC data card along with any standard FPGA development kit which comes along with FMC to implement HDMI or 3G SDI, Stenag or CBS standards to ARINC 818 protocol conversion and deliver to the customer. Next slide, please. Yeah. So far we have seen that protocol conversion card which can support up to full HD at 60 frames per second. So more than full HD resolution. So that is where this ARINC 818-3 protocol conversion card. So this card is powered by Xilinx Zynq MPSoC device. So this supports HDMI 2.0 to ARINC 818-3 and vice versa, or 12G SDI to ARINC 818-3 and vice versa. So it supports both progressive and interlaced video format up to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. So you can see that the conversion card. So this supports one number of HDMI 2.0 in and out. Where the optical link rates are FC4X, which can support up to full HD resolutions. So for 4K kind of resolution, the standard SFP is not sufficient because the SFP link rate is limited to 10 Gbps. So more than 10 Gbps, we have to use that QSFP plus. So in ARINC 818-3 protocol conversion card, so we support one number of QSFP plus socket to support a higher optical link rate as defined in ARINC 818-3. So this conversion card supports both commercial as well as industrial grade, and it's a very compact and small form factor. It's a 150 mm by 180 mm. This is a non-standard form factor. It's a completely portable protocol conversion card. Next slide, please. ARINC 818 protocol analyzer. So our ARINC 818 protocol analyzer is a PC based. So we use that industry standard CPU, where our protocol conversion card is a half-length PCIe based. It is plugged onto the system, and our analyzer software is running on the host computer. So basically, it verifies ADVB packets against ARINC 818 standards. So it captures data of 8 MB size, and it supports optical link rate up to FC4X and the resolution of full HD at 60 fps. So incoming ADVB frames are tapped and captured by FPGA logic for the analysis. So the whatever data captured by the FPGA is then transferred to the host PC through PCI Express for further analysis. So the GUI application running on the PC will display the captured sample data for further analysis, where user can choose various trigger modes. So GUI application have multiple trigger modes, like immediate. In case of immediate, so it will not wait for any condition. Moment user press the immediate, it will capture the 8 MB of ARINC 818 data, and it decodes and displays on the GUI for user to understand. So user also can set particular order set like idle or a start of frame, end of frame. So user can set any particular order set and then trigger. So analyzer will wait for that particular order set. Once it receives that particular order set, then it will start acquiring the 8 MB of data and then display on the GUI for user to debug. So third one is trigger on error. So this is widely used, like we want to run the system and check whether error occurs after an hour or two. So it's a long run, so we can simply trigger on error and leave the system for a long duration and see whether any error occurs or not. So these are the various trigger modes supported. And similarly, like once we capture the ARINC 818 data, we can save on the local disk. So anytime offline, we can reopen that saved data and then analyze back. So this supports like various debugging options. So whether the link is active or not, and what is the video resolution, video timing, any error occurred, and it decodes that ADB packet headers and ARINC 818 container header. So where user need not to know more about ARINC 818. So this analyzer really helps a lot. So it decodes the complete header and remove everything and display the decoded information to the user. Next slide, please. ARINC 818 video recorder. So accepts ARINC 818 video streams at different resolution and different refresh rate. And then it does that multi-standard encoding like ISO MPEG 4 part 10. That's nothing but AVC H.264, as well as ISO MPEG H part 2, that HEAVC or H.265. So user can choose the encoding technique. So depends on the user selection. It does either H.264 or H.265 encoding, and then it stores the compressed video data on the SSD or HDD. So user can define that duration amount of data has to be stored, or else it will store until the disk become full. At any point of time, user can pause the storing as well as play back the recorded video. So it is nothing but already compressed H.264 or 265 encoded stream is decoded back again and then display on the DisplayPort monitor. So this supports multiple link rates like FC1x all the way FC4x, and any resolution which comes in a progressive format, and it supports 1G Ethernet. So through remotely user can configure the various modes like the storage time and where to store and creating the file name and playback. So multiple flexibility remotely also it can be done. Next slide. On success of the multiple products, like we started with IP, conversion card, ARINC 818 switch, protocol analyzer, recorder, and some of our customer also approached us for ARINC 818 monitor. So we developed that ARINC 818 monitor using our conversion card. So it can support screen size of default 5.6 display size. And if customer is looking for other than 15.6-inch display, we can quickly customize the display size as per the customer and deliver. So this monitor can accept both optical as well as copper in Arri K298 input, and the link rate from FC1x to 4x. And as I mentioned earlier, it can be any resolution up to full HD at 60 frames per second. So if any customer have non-standard Arri K298 ICD, we can quickly customize as per their requirement and deliver. So the key advantage is like we develop this IP core from the scratch, and whatever the product, it can be a monitor, recorder, or conversion card. So we can quickly customize any of the product as per the customer ICD and deliver in a very short period of time. Okay, next slide, please. So far, we talked about what is Arri K298, evaluation of Arri K298, and advantages, enhancement, dash 2, dash 3 use cases. And following that, we discussed about various products around Arri K298. So now this slide talks about how our cards module, like there are two different cards modules. We have 3U VPX and 6U CPCI. So how our customers are using these cards module in their avionics systems. So some of our customer use these cards module as only a protocol conversion. So like it accepts Arri K298 in either in copper or optical, and then convert to HDMI or DVI. So after that, it goes to 3U VPX or 6U CPCI based GPU engine, where the GPU engine generates that various symbols as required by depends on the use cases, like map generation and various symbol generation. These all are taken care by the GPU, and then those symbols or map is overlaid on top of this HDMI or DVI data, and then finally displayed on the cockpit monitors. So another use case is like where they take that Arri K298 input and then convert to the standard video streams and transmit over PCI or PC Express to the GPU systems. So there are two interfaces. Some customer prefer to use standard DVI or HDMI to get the video data, and some customer like it is based on PCI or PC Express. So where our card also supports it, it receives the Arri K298 and convert to the standard video stream and transfer the standard video stream through PCI or PC Express to the GPU system. So where GPU receives that video data, and then locally generated graphics information is overlaid on top of that and then displayed on the screen. So these are two different use cases, like how Arri K298 is converted to traditional video standards or video format and passed to the GPU and then displayed on their final systems. Next slide, please. This is another use case, like so in the previous slide we saw that only that Arri K298 to traditional video standard conversion, and then goes to the GPU. From the GPU it goes to the display. So like the other some application where we also need to transmit the graphics overlaid video data on the Arri K298 link to the other systems. So that is where that like so graphics data overlaid on the GPU is transmitted back to the cards module in a different format. It's like it can be HDMI, DVI, or PCI or PC Express. So through this interface, we get the video data to this conversion card. From the conversion card, like it converts that standard video data to the ARINC 818 standard and transmit over either copper or optical. So next slide, please. I think that's all. We reached the end. So like these are the various links related to iWave, ARINC 818 IP core and other conversion cards. Like participant can go through these links for more details about our IP and conversion cards and demos. Thank you to everyone for your patience and your time. So now I'll hand over to Mr. Taufik.
Thank you, Sheikh sir. A very interesting session. So we have around 10 minutes left in this webinar. So we will be happy to answer your questions related to the IP course and ARINC solutions. So please feel free to post your question in the chat window, and Sheikh sir and team will be happy to answer your questions right now. And as Sheikh sir mentioned in the previous slide, so we have, once we share this PPT to you, we have a bunch of resources and interesting videos where you can get an overview of our solutions and a few how to get started videos.
Hello. Yeah. So I see there are multiple questions on the chat window. So let me answer one by one.
Yes, Sheikh. So the first question is, does ARINC 818 support the H.264 variable bitrate coding, and how do you manage line timing?
Yeah. So actually, so ARINC 818 IP is not supporting any H.264 encoding or some other encryption. That is not part of ARINC 818 specification. Basically, encoding or encryption has to be done outside the ARINC 818. So ARINC 818 used as a transcription medium in case of encoding or encryption. Yeah. Next question. Hello.
Yes, thanks, Sheikh sir. So the next question is in terms of what is the default size of ARINC 818 monitor?
Yeah, as we mentioned in the presentation, our ARINC 818 monitor default size is 15.6 inches. So if any customer is looking for other than 15.6, we can quickly customize as per their requirement and deliver.
Sure. And the next point is single mode generally used for long distance aircraft length is not so long. So why does ARINC also offer single mode?
Yeah, yes, you're right. Basically, like multi-mode fiber optic is widely used in aircraft. So ARINC 818 system also work in single fiber optic, and there is no limitation. So nowadays, ARINC 818 also used in medical industry due to its low latency, where both single mode and multi-mode fiber can be used, depends on the speed and distance.
Right, sure. So one last question is, are the standalone cards that are showcased here qualified to MIL STDS DO160 and DO254 requirements?
Yeah, it qualified for MIL standard DO160, so not DO254. So we leave it to the customer for the DO254 certification. We provide that the required artifacts to the customer, because customer normally do the DO254 certification for their entire system, not only this particular COTS module. So we provide all required artifacts along with our COTS module so that customer can use our COTS module and do the DO254 certification.
Right, Sheikh. So thank you again, Sheikh, for answering these questions and for this great presentation. So this concludes the webinar. In case we are not able to answer your question, we will get back to you by mail in the next few days, along with the recording and the download version of the slides. So thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation, and wishing you a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants. Thank you for your valuable time and listening to us.